Good evening, everyone. I'm Carter Brown, president of the nonprofit organization Black Transmen, Inc. First of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Michelle Stafford for having me here tonight. Also, Mary here, and my good friend and mentor, Dr. Remembrance. I'd also like to thank my BTMI family that has joined us here tonight. And it's an honor to speak at such a significant occasion, despite the sorrowful nature of our gathering. I know that acknowledging the death of loved ones is never easy, but when we hear that the cause of death was due to anti-transgender violence, it's appalling and heart-wrenching every time. And as I was sitting here reading the ways that our loved ones were killed, to me it sounded like horrific scenes from a violent, dark movie or victims of war in a foreign land. But sadly it's not. It's the reality of far too many innocent people like you and I, 39 of which we'll be commemorating here this evening. Now, when we lose someone to natural causes or disease or accidental violence, I think the common emotional reaction is to ask why. Why did this happen? Why did it happen to this person or him or her? Or why so soon? But as I read through these lists of names, I asked myself, what if it was me? Or what if it was one of my friends or dear family members sitting here with me tonight? As we all gather here to celebrate the courageous lives that have been so brutally taken from us, I ask you all to ask yourselves, what if it was you? And more importantly, ask ourselves, what can we do to end these horrible, horrific, and sadistic murders? It's something everyone can do. Now, with our organization, Black Transmen, Inc., and also our sisters with Black Trans Women, we fight to advocate for these, to end these crimes in 3 different ways: advocacy, empowerment, and equality. And I ask that everyone here tonight join us in our fight for equality. 3 things: advocacy, empowerment, and equality. Now, if you're already doing something, there's more you can do. There's always something you can do. And if you're not sure what to do, I'll share a couple of ways that you can become an advocate. First of all, we need more support to transgender organizations. Transgender organizations are set up all around the world, and there's several right here in our very city. Of course, there's BTMI, there's GEAR, there's TIC, Trans Pride Initiative, Trans Migrations, Youth First Texas, just to name a few. There's also Transcending in Fort Worth. Trans Spirit US, there's something you can do. Now, all of these different organizations may offer different services, but there's a uniform goal to bring equality, empowerment, and advocate for transgender people. They need your support. You can donate your time, donate your money. If you have a local business or an organization, donate your services. There's something you can do to be an advocate. And although the transgender community is very resilient, we still need our allies. We need your help, friends and family, to end anti-transgender violence. Together, we make a broader effort. We make a broader effort to educate one another on transgender issues. And together, we can stop these vicious hate crimes. If we don't bring awareness to anti-transgender violence, our greater society will remain ignorant to our issues. And nothing will change. As we know, ignorance breeds fear, and fear breeds hate. No longer should we turn a blind eye or keep a silent tongue to these injustices. We must choose to be advocates for equality. Now, to my transgender brothers and sisters, we must also empower ourselves. That means being seen, that means being heard. That means demanding respect. That means building with one another. We must have unity to have a community. If you choose not to be active in the transgender community, at least get to know 1 or 2 other transgender people to build a support system with and for one another. Transgender community, we have to be more involved in the political decisions being made that directly affect our freedom and our rights. The many forms of law have a critical role in defining basic human principles of equal opportunity and citizenship. We must speak out when we see ourselves being dehumanized in the media. We must make our voices heard to the powers that be. Vote, write a letter, sign a petition, act. When we see our lesbian and gay counterparts taking action, join in, speak up, be seen, be heard, be a voice for our community as well. It's not about just pride, it's about empowerment. It's about getting equality. It's about knowing you're worthy. It's empowering. And again, there's something everyone can do. There's something everyone can do until this list no longer exists. Until transphobia no longer exists. We need to recognize what transphobia is before it ends like this. Transphobia is not just murder. Transphobia is refusal of service in a public establishment simply because other patrons are uncomfortable with your appearance. Transphobia is assault and rape that never goes reported because of fear of the discrimination and corruption of authorities that are here to protect and serve us. Transphobia is deliberate belittlement by calling someone of a name other than what they choose. Transphobia is false imprisonment for standing up for yourself. And as we keep our dear sister CECE McDonald in our prayers, we must acknowledge that we can very well be reading her name on this list had she not acted in her own self-defense. Transphobia is not just physical, it's verbal, it's psychological, and it's a stratum of social corruption that we need to recognize, we must reveal it, and we must resolve it. Now, it's apparent to me that the names on this list are disproportionately women of color. So it's clear that there's an obvious and apparent injustice being done here. Because of that, many of us here may not find it easy to relate to some of these women. You may have different lifestyles, different opportunities and privileges. But please understand, injustice to humanity is injustice to us all. Now, it's factually and statistically known that transgender women of color are at an enormous disadvantage, both socially and economically. And if I may speculate, many of these women listed here were victims of bullying from childhood up until the very day of their demise. Trans people of color are often denied the right to pursue decent livelihood because of fear or hate from someone simply because of our appearance. Many more of my transgender sisters are socially constricted to negative expectations and images that don't allow us to often see them just as human beings, as aunts and sisters, mothers and wives. Knowing that these beautiful and resilient women have and continue to walk in their truth and function against these barriers built for them makes their lives worthy of a celebration. But instead, we get erroneous typings about their life in the last notes of their life in newspapers and even their obituary. They're identified as someone that the people that knew them and loved them can't even recognize due to misgendering them or using the wrong name. That's not equality. Equality is full membership into society, and it should not be a privilege. It's a basic human right. Injustice victimizes everyone. And although you may not be a victim of institutionalized racism or anti-gay or anti-transgender repercussions, you too are still a victim of social injustice. These people were violated of their human rights It was their human right to express themselves freely as they wanted to. So we should fight for them like we fought for Trayvon and Martin. These people were victims of bullying and discrimination. So we should fight for them like we fought for the Gen 6. These people were victims of sex and hate crimes. We should fight for them like we fought for Burt Burnett and James Byrd Jr. Stand for equality or accept the effects of inequality. The effects of injustice are death to one's character, death to one's equality, and as we see here, ultimately, death to one's existence. Fight, advocate, empowerment, equality. God bless all those honored here tonight and their friends and family, and may God bless each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.